Good afternoon, fellow viewers of the Ambazonian Communication Network, the ACN, fellow citizens of Ambazonia, and fair witches of Ambazonia across the globe. You are all welcome for this presentation by me, the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonia Defense Forces, Capo Daniel, Sense Pass King Lukong, una own countryman. I don't come again for can give una a presentation today episode. It be titled "The Fix is In." The international community once again have been presented with evidence, irrefutable evidence, both physical and human testimony of the atrocity being committed in Ambazonia as the United States new administration of the Joe Biden and Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State, intensify effort to bring both sides to the negotiating table. This one that I'm inevitable trigger in Sisiku Ayuktabi for jump into the Amba to Amba. So I got to bring una all those are including an excerpt of an intervention by General Ifang, one video audio from General Ifang. Today it will be focused both on the eternal wrangling of the Ambazonia Revolution, Amba to Amba. We will tackle them soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always for this show, would it take some time for play some music for welcome owner? It could be a time for me for salute those who did watch me for my YouTube channel live, where they make and be more interactive, and for those who will watch me for the Facebook for ACN, and for those who did not open their house, open their TV for ACN across the globe. For let me for come inside the house, in particularly for our mommy, our papa them, our sister and brother them for ground zero. I want to thank you for accepting me today, number 29 day for the month for July. Now also for here for Hong Kong, now 1:40 a.m. for morning time. It could be around 7 o'clock p.m. for Amba time. Now a perfect time for me for get to now. This show will be rebroadcast again after this time, just in case when I hear the date and when the look say date don't pass. So we go always start with the music as our tradition for this show, and the tradition also for plenty church them back home as una know Ambazonia na a faith-based society. Would always start all thing for church now with some good song for warm all man skin before the preaching it come later. Today we'll get a very powerful presentation where I'll be ready for deliver and for now. Maybe we'll enjoy this song as I get. Talent that salute all those that they watch me live, for salute the people them for AMIC, one of the strong Ambazonian governing council mission across the globe, for salute the Ambazonian mission for the UK, the one for America, and many other across Ambazonia. I just thank Breezy Eric. You do always there live to watch me live. I want to welcome you, and also Eric Mukong and the thousands of Ambazonia the way they go watch me for YouTube. For ACN, all when I come good, all man he plays day, all man he plays a day. Shake, he no day. Okay. Na so, man. And so, wow, wow. They say what a man can do, a woman can do, and do it even better. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Ambazonians, una all una be welcome for this platform once again. I've been a Capo Daniel, the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonia Defense Forces, the military wing of the Ambazonia Governing Council, aka Sense Past King. Look on, una own countryman, una village champion. Na me, I the champion the cause for the grassroots people where they talk na pidgin. The vast majority of our territory, 99% of our people, they be fluent in pidgin English. And only like 5% they talk very good English, and a little bit more they they try to talk English. Me, I always believe in the communication in a language where it be rooted in our environment. And I advocate for the using of pidgin English officially to be standardized in Ambazonia as a language. It could be a tragic if our own people them who can adopt a parliament where you go to speak a language where over 75% of our people they know if you understand. For we for standardize this pidgin English in no pass way. BBC said they use pidgin English. What more of we? Me people they no go for Dubai, they talk English pass one the way they stay for America. Even for America, no go talk English pass the black American where they born them for day. Because the tongue for black man it not be meant for speak British people their own country talk. Swahili it go better for Ambazonia pass English language. Now me sense pass king at talk. All na be welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we go get a very in-depth discussion about Amba to Amba. As you know very well, every time we negotiation it be pushed at the corridors of diplomacy, na the time we sabotage, blackmail, they come against other groups them where them feel say they go stand on the way for people the way they want to negotiate as a goal. That means some people then dey for this struggle where their main thing na say they want go be na the one way na they go negotiate. No be so things that they work for the real war. So ladies and gentlemen, when I welcome for this presentation, I go take una inside this conversation, and I will also conclude with a audio from General Efang, a conversation with one of the people. Then we talk a little bit about the whole concept with this program I go handle them today. Before I get into my opening statement, I go on for first take una a look about what really happened on the ground. Justice Aya Paul Abine, Honorable Aya Paul Abine, a papa we get dignity, a papa we get credibility. He don't always speak the truth, and he don't get an interview. Unfortunately, I not be get time for do the editing for the video may be presented for now in a very nice way, but I go do play them the way our communication aid them people they help with for communication department they send one for me now and accept this for the interview. Make gonna listen together.
You are talking about something is really disturbing there to understand that your accounts have been blocked and your retirement due.
So we will take some few minutes as we always do for put the eyeball for La Republic when the real enemy will get them for this struggle. And Justice Aya Paul Abine, he then give a powerful interview for Equinox. As soon as the year, they don't block this papa when a whole justice, a whole Supreme Court member, they don't suspend his salary since he go for retirement for 3 years now. Nobody receive any money from this kangaroo government. And it not be a surprise, but we're gonna hear the revolution we gam for this interview.
Are not being given 3 years after. It's disheartening and 4 years after. Now, a question that Cameroonian.
So for 4 years, somebody will then save the Supreme Court. When I go imagine, say for any true country, the judicial system where for that country is supposed to be an equal branch of government like the executive branch and as well as the judiciary, the executive, and then the legislative. But they treat it like a nobody simply because it is speak out in mind. That means that country na a country where people they no fit talk their mind. Otherwise, you'll be targeted. Now, a country where they want to suppress all people, mean that they live under fear. Fear for speak out the truth. Fear for do anything where it could be contrary to the puppet regime of Mr. Paul Biya Bivondo. Una listen for which Justice Ayapo get and talk.
Those who at least knew you several years ago will want to ask is this: where did things fell apart between you and the CPTM-led government? Given that you were once a CPTM, you have worked in positions in Cameroon wherein you are appointed by the president, who is currently the head of.
Because I hear people say justice are odd. Justice in Cameroon is not independent. Everybody knows that. So they tried to get me to do certain things which I would not comply in accordance with my conscience and the law. Such that to get promoted from grade 3 to grade 4, instead of the 4 normal years when you are qualified for a promotion, they kept me there for 10 years. I then entered the National Assembly, and I thought that laws are meant to be enforced. This is the law this is the Constitution saying that we are a bilingual country. And then I see a bill in Parliament almost entirely in French, and I get up and say, no, this bill should go back for proper translation before it can be debated. And the Minister of Justice at the time, my friend, I can call him boss and friend, Amadou Ali, got up and insulted me on the floor of the House.
So it be very important make all una for ground zero una understand which way they go on. Now Justice Aya pour this. If there is any civilian, any citizen for the British Southern Cameroon where he go fit get any respect, he go be in a person where don't be elevated, where don't reach the level where Justice Aya pour he be a justice for Supreme Court. He talk how way he be join CPDM. Now a CPDM person, that means an elevated slave. He become he be a justice for the Supreme Court. Yet now where to be a problem with La Republic? Simple. He said that because he be always deny for go along with way to way Mr. Paul Biya the one made one for twist justice in his work as a justice for inside Supreme Court. Also, when he even go before Parliament, them put law when not only for French, he stand for talk say this country is supposed to be a bilingual country. Me then take back this law, go back for the chambers, go translate them for English. Now all that way ask them, justice is stand a bad mouthy, they highlight, them put it for corner, they isolate it, and they no fit ever make a me progress because they the one speak like an for the basis of the constitution of that country. This one have shown us say there is no hope with La Republic. Those who they even want go join the CPDM party, Ayapo it and triumph. Those who they want for show good for follow the constitution, Ayapo it and triumph. All way to way he receive them na hatred, imprisonment, and assassination attempt. Not only for his life but for his picking their life. Cut off his salary, punish him for nothing. Take small francophone the way they never even study like ye, put them above him for work. Now the things in that way they do them for people the way they want to be reasonable. For people the way they want to be rational, forget common sense. Make you know so no fit accept for live in a country where they want me you hide your tail. Make you not stand up for your language or your culture. Make you not even stand up for justice according to how the law of that country it be. We no fit be with La Republic du Kangaroo. We cannot in any circumstances cohabit with people who act like this. When I listen for the level of corruption, I mean official corruption, we know about the one where they chop money or whoop money. But when I hear way to way justice, I Paul talk, a credible person we don't work for parliament, see with your own eye, the bills them way La Republic they pass them for their own parliament. When I listen.
Said after I was a simple grade 4 magistrate, he was dealing with the super scale, and after all, that's Mr. Guan Messia, his Secretary General, who is super scale. That is not done. And the speaker did not call him to order. That's where trouble started. And then, of course, I went on to condemn waste in Cameroon. Until today, nobody can justify to me that the Secretary General at the presidency of the Republic has 2.5 million every day Even on a public holiday on Sunday, he has 2.5 million, for his fuel. That's a man that doesn't travel.
The Secretary General of the Presidency, daily income of 2.5 million
a day. I say this over and over.
So when I hear my country people, in a country people that they live for less than $1, that means say the people most family they live for less than 2,000 francs CFA a day. Every single day, the Parliament for La Republique they don't allocate money where the poor be a regime it don't submit them for them. They want official corruption. 2.5 million for the Secretary General of the presidency every single day, including holiday. That one not be money for a salary. That means na money for put fuel for a motor. Every single day. Times some by how many days in a year? For a country where they no get hospital, they not even supply even facial mask for nurse and where they fight coronavirus when a pandemic. The school they for the way classroom they no get roof over their head. Only this money for fuel for this Secretary General alone can rebuild school. All schools in La Republique du Cameroon, including Ambazonia, can build a big hospital in all the various districts in that country. Only for that money for one person allocated. This is official money given to him from the parliament. When I see the level of corruption, of decay, unacceptable corruption where Cameroon be, it is not a country that can respect any treaty, let alone its constitution. Corruption is a formal thing. The informal corruption is even worse. This country is the worst of the worst. There is no hope. Even if you say you want to go and join the CPDM, like Capo have done it. He was a magistrate. Where did he end up? Just for trying to be himself. A prisoner of conscience. Somebody suffering from blindness. For nothing. This part, the only talk na a truth. It talk according to the constitution of La Republique. Even get an official political party. So somebody with a political party cannot speak, cannot express his opinion. Then how do you expect Southern Cameroon to cohabit with people like this? As a matter of fact, we have been warned. Our own people qualify it as choosing between Nigeria and Cameroon as fire and frying pan. No, we don't have to live in fire and frying pan. We have to be independent. Independent or nothing else. My people for Ground Zero, this fight is about our dignity, our existence as human beings. We must fight and give it all to separate ourselves from this kangaroo. I rest my case. So I go also take una for inside La Republique du Cameroon how their citizens they crack. As we done tell una na a big factor for any liberation struggle where they fight for independence. Remember, say the failure for slavery, the failure for American their slavery, the French people their slavery, not be because of the slave they be overgave power. Now because it prick eventually as they become more brutal, as the resistance it multiply, it affect their own conscience. Make a play a video of a Cameroon citizen for Switzerland where they if you talk freely, it talk about their country and their war for inside Ambazonia. The expression of this lady, na testimony, say La Republique it go broke because the country cannot succeed when the citizens they need to back them. Ladies and gentlemen, when I give me some time, make a look this video. Unfortunately, I know the see place that I save this video, but I would like to play that video anyway. In another time, because of time constraint, I will not. I'll let it go. But this video, it is show increasingly more and more French Cameroon citizens they saying, "Not in my name. Stop killing women and children in the name of Cameroon." in the name of unity. They are rejecting the logic of terrorism. Their citizens every single day are now indicting their government. Remember, that is why America lost the Vietnam War, because their own citizens saw how brutal their military was against innocent and poorly equipped Vietnamese army, and they asked their country withdraw. And the people that rose up to speak the truth, people like John Kerry, today the president of America, these are the voices, Bill Clinton, that rise up to speak against the brutality of American government in Vietnam. Today they are the leaders of that country. So I encourage French Cameroon citizens to not be afraid of political benefit for Ambazonia, but to speak out the truth against the illegal war and the terrorism tactics of burning down villages, beheading women, and trying to set up Ambazonians by promoting kidnapping for ransom in Ambazonia by the Cameroon government. You must rise up against that regime. Tomorrow, you people will be the leaders of that country. So God help your citizens from this puppet regime that is about to give birth to itself. The next Pobia, his son, will be worse than the father. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will also talk about some fake news. I will take this one a little bit. There is a fake news going on. It can be a tactics being used by La République du Cameroun. This one na a clone newspaper where La République du Cameroun, their propagandists, where name na my country people, they ran the succeed for many years by hiding behind such fake news to tarnish the reputation of the Ambazonia Governing Council and the Ambazonia Defense Forces and all the frontline leaders and where they be responsible for the tactics on the ground that is actually destroying La République du Cameroun chances to hold us down. As you can see, General Efang, Dr. Cho Ayaba, and myself are in the middle of this one. They are also targeting Lucas Asu, Benedict Kwa, Sheikh Kavi, and many other Ambazonia Defense Forces officials for blackmail. This type of propaganda, it is sure we say even La République knows them being a devil. Because if La République it make propaganda for toxic people, they do work with them as a means for discredit the people in front of Ambazonians. Now because La République knows them too, now the devil, when no one associate with them. So all these fake news, fake flyers being produced by Konda titles are all very smart way because they underestimate the brilliantness of Ambazonian people, the complexity for Ambazonian people for understand the game where they go on or for express themselves. So when una see all this fake news, make una know say the governing council and the ADF and the official the way they target them, now people then we una need for instead run go closer to, because those are the people that hold the key to our liberation. So ladies and gentlemen, the fix is in, as the title of this episode it be. The fix, the international community, the new Joe Biden administration, now an administration where they do work in silence. They never be like the other administration of America where they over talk with where they do them. But our international partners, the Secretary of State of the Governing Council, have shared with us what is happening in the international community. Joe Biden administration, Anthony Blinken, they push the entire Security Council behind closed door. Say make this war be handled, may be presented in the international stage, in the international fora, so that the problem it will be solved. And every time we pressure for solve this war, it missing a time for negotiation language, it be for the corridors of diplomacy. Now the time we leaders them, where they want for leading sake, they feel vulnerable, they feel inferior if some other person it be when another person the champions, if he champions Ambazonia then the negotiation. We don't see blackmails upon blackmail. Surprisingly, an ally to the ADF, Sisiku Ayok Stabi's own IG group on SCBC have launched a barrage of blackmail against the Ambazonia Defense Forces and the Governing Council, calling for people like me, Lucas Asu, Benedict Kwa, and Ayabacho Lucas to be reported by Ambazonians in their countries of host so that they can be, according to them, be prosecuted for asking Ambazonians to kill Ambazonians. Terrible. Lies. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will play an excerpt for which way they go on, so that make una know exactly what you are to talk about, and I go address the thing accordingly. So for this audio, where our communication department, they don't say that for me, because I need to get time to watch all of those things. It talk about a town hall meeting where Sisiku then hold am for SSBC, the TV station when Sisiku own front their TV station for communication, it be for South Africa. Now the audio this way they talk am for this their show. After you they don't bring they bring some individuals who have no credibility. They bring this guy called Don Pacho, whoever he is. I visited Spain, and the people in Spain, his own country, people I went to the com meeting, they tell me, say that boy and a person wait for Spain, it is sell drug for hotel them. He gave multiple case with police, and a person where if family be done this only, then way be thief for Bamenda for some store, it broke ceiling for store for thief for day. Now the kind of person that way they use them for Sisiku people them for SCBC for begin the coach, the ADF, the coach, the officials for the ADF without any proof. We need to get some standard as we claim so we get Anglo-Saxon culture. Say every time people they come for air, for social media, and also phone it be cheap, and also internet it be readily available for people with diaspora, it don't mean say if you do they talk anything without any proof or any substantiation. We no fit make Ambazonia a public space for be a laughing stock for the international community, where people they make allegations without any proof or any substantiation. At least if you want to accuse anybody, proof say that person they do it to where you talk, or otherwise you shut up. No, the talk say something that thing will be, way no be two way be. Let us have some standard. Look at all the frontline communicators. Lucas Ansu, myself. We make sure in anything we say in public, we have some substantial proof, witness testimony, not fabrication, to show Ambazonia people. That is the minimum we expect for anybody where they talk for public. So ladies and gentlemen, when I hear the audio for the SCBC presentation where the Sisiku faction they then begin target the ADF and our officials for blackmail.
One of you to know this infighting is basically between Samuel Sako Ikome, ARF, Ambazonia Resistance Forces, and Joe Ayaba, the ATF, Ambazonia Defense Force, under the AGOC. We have to make it very clear to our people, and neither of them they speak, neither of them they call the people to order. They are so-called subordinates, or whatever you want to call them.
So in this audio, they go ahead for ridicule the positions of the ADF officials talking about our credential, that we don't have qualification, the governing council, Benedicta is not qualified and all those stuff. These are people who are also going to say that General Ivo was not qualified to be a general because he's a young man. In the ADF, we choose competency over superficial credentials. General Ivo was not made a general because he has studied in any military school. It was because of his practicability. And that is how Dr. Cho Ayaba works. And the governing council and the ADF. They choose people based on your competence, your ability to deliver the goods that we need, which is liberation right now. So all this political wrangle, insult from Sisiku's camp, it make us for ready wonder and for ready look into what way Sisiku be and what he done do for the past and what way Ambazonia people they need to know why all these attacks against the ADF, the Ambazonia Governing Council and its officials, especially me and Lucas Asu will be the frontline officials. They see we like a gateway for reach Dr. Cho Ayaba. The same people where they don't attack Ayaba Cho, attack ADF, Sutego Ki General Mba Ivo at the time where I not be even be a part of the member of the ADF. I was part and parcel of the IG at that time. So now they want attack we using type of language like Ayaba Cho is surrounding himself with people like Capo Daniel and Lucas Asu. He's a wise man. Definitely, if he's a wise man, then he has made the right choice to put people that he believes in, that have credibility and that can get the job done. These people, they sound sometimes like people that they look at job for for ADF. But nevertheless, we go address them as it be. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I take you there, I want for lay it out to you to know what is happening. Before I get to this, sorry, I think my this thing is not working very well. I want you to lay these things to you very well. You know, there's a video. Before I get to that, let me first talk about what is happening. I'll get to the Amba to Amba later, to be in chronology. So Amnesty International have submitted a document to the international system that provide physical evidence from satellite imagery, witness testimony of the atrocity that is going on between Ambazonian war, Ambazonian liberators and La République du Cameroun, their military occupation forces. This evidence, now the fix, what the talk am say the fix is in. This evidence be irrefutable. It be made up of physical evidence, witness testimony, and lot more. A little bit than be published, but from our international friends, we know say details of this report can be submitted to key players in the international scene to make the stage ready for the international community to come down with hammer against the perpetrators of this genocide and occupation of Ambazonia. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you have to know. The Cameroon government, 4 years ago, leading up to now, have pushed Ambazonia in a corner where we can only fight. We have no choice. We don't have any choice in this war. It is a choice brought upon us by the enemy. Like Honorable Weber said, when injustice, it becomes law, resistance becomes a duty. By banning of the consortium, an organization that was in negotiation with the Cameroon government, arresting its leaders and charging them with acts of terrorism, La République du Cameroun declared war against Ambazonia then by that action. They sent a message to the people of the southern Cameroon that you are forbidden to enjoy the right of political association and political organization. You cannot organize yourself as a state. You cannot speak and advocate for yourself as a people. So we will try you for terrorism if you stand up for Ambazonia, for the southern Cameroon. That was a declaration of war. It pushed us to war, to fight as a people to survive, to refuse to go away, to refuse to be absorbed forever. The international community will remain silent in this type of case because it is an inconvenience for them. Naturally, you cannot blame them. With the hope that the agitation, what they saw as an agitation, will be rapidly suppressed by the Cameroon brutal regime, because the French government have established an international precedent to uphold some type of stability in Africa, even if it means that the people do not enjoy democracy or freedom. So long as there is stability, they will continue to exploit our resources. They were thinking Pobia will just suppress us and the thing will go away. So this pushed us in a corner when our people resisted for us to actually get into war. The only reason that the international community is talking or taking us seriously is because of self-defense. That is the only reason. The consortium that emerged was pushing for an agenda within the constitution of La République. And when they banned them, their leaders ran to Nigeria. They decided to meet with the nationalist movements that have been fighting for this cause, for justice for the southern Cameroon, for many, many decades, and had been relegated and kicked out of that country. The meeting of the consortium, the civil society, and the nationalist movement gave birth to SCACUF, which was a joint platform of the nationalist movement and the civil society to make a confront La République du Cameroon as a state, as a people. Now, those who champion the popularism cause of SCACUF were hijacked. That institution were hijacked by people who believe naively in international diplomacy. Dr. Cho Ayaba, who from his experience as a young man stood for self-defense because he had experienced everything, has emerged as the person who had the right solution right from the beginning. He has achieved 3 things. 1. Dr. Cho Ayaba have made the self-defense the cornerstone of Ambazonian liberation philosophy. Today, everybody believes that self-defense is the only way we can liberate ourselves. That is an accomplishment of Dr. Cho Ayaba right from the onset. He has also internationalized the struggle, with the Basque Parliament passing a resolution adopted. This is a European Parliament with representative in the European Parliament of a resolution that supports Ambazonia as a people, their right for self-determination. You also have which led to the European Institute of Peace that was offered to us by the bloc of European parliamentarians that supported Ambazonia's right to self-determination. You have also have the Hague of Sea, Dr. Cho Ayaba having direct talks with the United Nations Secretary General's office in Central African region, led by Francois Force. This is the real achievement of the Governing Council of in internationalizing our liberation movement. The third thing that Dr. Cho Ayaba and the Governing Council and the ADF has achieved is the setting of a standard for negotiation for Ambazonia. They have set an objective standard for negotiation, making negotiation not a goal, making it just an object, a means to a goal. Those are the things that have been set for Ambazonia that will benefit us as a country forever. So, because there are other leaders who have shown signs of flexibility because of their obsession of being leaders, they are willing to make some concession if it means they will be a leader by doing so. Since now that the philosophy of self-defense have been accepted, those leaders who are not good or competent or who do not have the right people are now showing flexibility to the international community because they want to be the ones to go and negotiate. Negotiation have become a goal for them. The only way they can be a leader or can be projected a leader. So, the international community have made their opinion very, very clear. They want to act. They want to stop this war that has become a dirty war in Africa, a sore in the international community, the most neglected war. They want to solve this war. They have made it clear that the war is not acceptable anymore. So, but they want to target both sides. The international community want to target La République and Ambazonia. That is what they want to do. Because they want to convince. The reason why the international community wants to target both sides is because the French government have been very successful in their diplomacy because of their camaraderie with the Americans. They have convinced that criminal gang, that Ambazonians, they have convinced the international community that the Ambazonians are also attacking civilians. That is the truth. The French government have succeeded in doing that. Even though it is a lie, even though the international community know, but they have made a good case by using gangs, criminal gangs, using the Atanganji poor boys. That means top officials of Cameroon giving villagers ammunitions and directing them to target civilians. They have used all those things properly to convince the international community that there is crimes on both sides, including their embedded agents like Sako, who have created an organization that sits in America and give legitimacy to anybody who wants to do anything in the name of restoration forces, even when they don't have communication or contact with them. These have resulted to the will of the international community. They want to target Ambazonia and La Republique. And the result will be that the one Cameroon will survive under different conditions that are going to a little bit give some type of human rights to the people, but will not address the aspiration of our people and will not address the root causes and the injustices to our territory. But that diplomacy of France will fail if Ambazonians are wise and smart to rally behind the movement that can clearly articulate our case the way it is and separate the movement of our revolution from these actions committed by La République du Cameroun government to frame Ambazonia. We must distinguish ourselves from them. The international media is trying desperately to yoke this both sides and to give a way for any leader of Ambazonia to be used. And we are seeing that Sisiku is now prone to pretend to be the middle part, to come and say that it is about Ayabacho, and they want to tie, they have failed to tie Ayabacho and the ADF to crimes against humanity. Now they want to tie Ayabacho with the infighting with with Sako, to say that we are now doing infighting, so we are all a group of the same people. But they have failed, because if you look at the presentation done in SCBC, they had tons of evidence to show that Sako and Chris Anu are inciting people to kill people in Ambazonia. They had audios, they have videos, but they had nothing at all about Capo Daniel, Benedictwa, Lucas Aso, and Yabacho inciting violence against innocent civilians. Remind you that the Amnesty International report have cited a specific case of Ambazonians targeting civilians. I will not go into any information because that is a criminal case that is going to come after Sako and those people who are associating themselves with them. We know what is in that file. So if you are there thinking you are going to hide your criminal gangs, your criminal activity behind a con man who have tried to hijack Sisiku's IG to give you legitimacy, you will bear the crowns. You will be arrested one day and you'll be tried for that crime, if God keeps you alive till then. So ladies and gentlemen, let me land this ship. I know some of you will be looking for what direction is Sense Pass King taking us today. So, as these things have been happening, the Sisiku came in. You should know one thing for sure. Let me put you the background of Sisiku, so that you know that the things he is doing today is not in isolation. Skakuf was a joint platform made by the nationalist movement. Sisiku was not even there. The Ambazonia Governing Council, the SCNC, and a host of other movements, they came together and formed this joint platform. And the Atta Milan, who led a coalition from South Africa of mainly SDF politicians and party members, all of them were top officials in the SDF. They came into that movement and tried to hijack it, because for them this was an opportunity for them to have the relevance that Fundi could not succeed to give them in Cameroon. They hijacked that movement and they failed to emerge as leaders. So they brought in Sisiku Ayok Tabi. from what Success Nkongo, who is not somebody we can even make reference to, but at that moment, he was somebody who was working with those people. Also, one of the people who were there in those conferences, says that when the issue to put Sisiku as the helm came up, he spoke to Sisiku, and Sisiku said he is willing to resign from his job in Nigeria to come and lead this struggle because of not just the the prestige it will bring, because he's a dedicated person too. So we cannot just look it from the negative side. But this is what you should know about Sisiku. He surrounded himself with these SDF politicians, with political scavengers like Nalova B, Ata Milan, who are blackmailers. They were so corrupt with the CPD and SDF political games that they destroyed this revolution to the way it is today. It is in the hands of Sisiku. He allowed them to use him because when they emerged him as a leader, he owed them nothing. Ayabacho sat with him one-on-one. From my time in this revolution, Ayabacho have always maintained that he sees a statesman in Sisiku, somebody who can pull the nation together. It has never been the same with Sisiku. It has never been the same. I remember when Ebenezer Okwanga came here in China and made a campaign about self-defense, that we should donate money. We raised a substantial amount of money. And that time, me being the main activist here in Southeast Asia, we called the secretariat that was run by Milan, Nalova, and the rest of the cabal in South Africa and told them, we have raised money to give to this guy who is telling us the AK-47 is the way. They told us, don't no give that money, Akwanga will chop that money. Ayabacho and Akwanga na scammer, they collect money for people, then say they go buy AK. We cannot win AK, we cannot win this war with guns. We are going to be considered as terrorists and all the like. We were so afraid that we didn't give them. And they tell us anybody in our group that talks about Ayabacho and Ebenezer Okwanga, we should kick them out of our chat groups. It was strange for me, but we did them anyway. I was a group of the young people who have the millennials who have just joined the struggle, and we were just trying to help. We think that because it is popular, if we follow the popular way, we will win. So, these guys, Ayabacho and the Akwangas, they insisted on these things of self-defense against all these people talking about this issue. And when Ayabacho went to Daddy to launch the ADF, the self-defense, Sisiku himself called me when I came online, because for me it was a big thing. Remember, it happened, those videos emerged 2 weeks after Sisiku was received in a hotel in Nigeria with people, bodyguards that had guns, AK-47, and we were all celebrating and say, finally we have a leader that has guns. So when Ayabacho appeared with guns in Ground Zero in Dadi, I was also very happy because I'm a rational person. But Sisiku called me and told me, Capo Daniel, you have disappointed me. You have disappointed me, so now you are supporting Ayabacho. Sisiku himself, that I should talk to Nalova B. And I spoke to Nalova. Nalova say, hey Capo, Daddy no be even Ground Zero that self. He come now for here for Nigeria. Those may gather some small boy and pay the money. Complete lies. I eventually learned that Nalova B knew what was going on. Sisiku knew what was going on, and even donated. If you see that the generator that was caught there was even donated by him. So they knew all these things. And how did I even know about this? It wasn't even for Ayabacho, because Ayabacho was very close. He was not even talking about those things. When I was invited to join the Tigers of Ambazonia, I was one of the bishops helping the Tigers of Manu. All those things you were hearing, fighting was going in those days. Even those fights, I was telling Nalova, but there were guys fighting on the ground. People were fighting on the ground in Manu. You were hearing the Tigers of Manu, Mark Barata, they were talking about all those guys. I said, but these guys are fighting. He said, no. There's nothing like the Tigers of Manu. It was just a bunch of guys carrying gun and they are succeeding and just being excited and going, only for me to get into the Tigers of Amanu. And in our meeting, Tiger 1, Martin, started to explain how the name of the Tigers of the Tigers came about. That they wanted to honor Sisiku. So they told him what they were doing, and Sisiku gave that name, and Nalova B was invited in that council meeting. I said, for goodness sake, Nalova B was here, and she came out and lied to me. And I was there outside there like an activist, like a surrogate for Sisiku and Skakuf, lying to the people, blackmailing Ayabacho and Akwanga, who were preaching self-defense for these people. I was the first person to sell Sisiku like the president. I was the first person to make his picture. I have his picture here in my back and said, this is our president because he's popular. Based on lie and blackmail. Lie and blackmail. In the fourth conclave, I will get back to you in how these things are playing out itself as the international community is now pushing for this intervention. In the fourth conclave, I went there as a delegate representing China because early on in this struggle, the people of China, I was the person who started campaigning for political awareness in China. I purposefully, around 2014, start going into chat groups in China, preaching that our people should be politically aware and engage in political change back home. I was the first person to even join the movement of what you have today as the BAS, the anti-Sardina. I was a member of Patrick Newman, the military guy in America. We were campaigning already. Some of the video you see in Ground Zero of policemen collecting bribe, I did those videos myself. We were all hiding. I was hiding, doing those things in hiding. I think 2015. We were doing all those things in hiding. So when this struggle started, I was one of the first people who contacted Harmony Bogba, who was in Ground Zero at that time, challenging Pobia, writing letters here, organizing the Anglophones lawyers. I offered to him the use of internet and social media to promote this struggle and take it to the public. The t-shirt you saw Mancho BBC wore were all initiative champions by me and the people in China. But there were a group of people in China who were looking for political power. When they saw me doing this campaign, there were the people opposing me. Don't talk about politics here. Go away with your politics. When they saw that the things were picking steams, they came to me and said, let's form a political party called Cameroon Wind of Change. I was even engaged with Kawala Frundi, advising them on how we can stop the corruption in Cameroon. When Paul Biya came here, we met them. I met him. We proposed about stopping tax in the seaport for critical goods like tractors and things that will help, because we had business people in China who could help. So we have been working for the people, for nothing, not for political, not with any political ambition. So when these things was going on, I saw all these people using money to send to Sisiku. When the Skapak, the official channel of donating money, was set up in America, when they gather money here, I said, send that money to Skapak. They say, no, they want to send it to Nalova, to Ata Milan. I said, no, but you are hearing complaints that money being sent to Skapak is being stifled. They are eating money. But these people wanted to send money because they wanted favor, they wanted political position, and these were the people that were Milan and Nalova and Sisiku were more interested in. They were destroying China, but I was talking, they were not interested because they were giving money. When Skapak don't pay SSBC's bill, the people in China will gather money and pay because they didn't care what was happening. They just wanted that influence. Eventually, I withdrew myself from China. Before the group in China split up, you have ADMIC now, which is more rational, and all those stuff are happening. But Sisiku have always followed people who are giving him money. Right now, the bill of last year in Kondengi that they spent, you'll be surprised if I tell you. But if it gets to that level, I'm going to expose everything so that you will know and you protect the integrity And whatever deal want to go on, whatever they want to play, it will not work. It will be independent from Ambazonia. Anybody who want to go and compromise, who have become a leader, it will not work. All of us who have put our head in front, we will all better die than to allow this one to go, this country to go. I've told you people, me, I'm not going to Boya, I'm going to Bamenda, I'm going to my village. Take the people to Boya and drop me in Bamenda. I have no political ambition. I'm here to serve the revolution, the liberation phase. And after that, I don't care what you do with the country. I'll only push my agenda, give my own vision as somebody who have things that I want to offer for my country, and hope that other people will pick it up, because no country can survive by the brain of one man. No one head cannot carry a country alone. You inspire people and then let other people do their own job. I've pushed for the issue of pidgin English to be standardized and used. That is what I want. I've pushed for the issue of traditional rulers to be made apolitical. It was adopted in the fourth conclave as well. So everybody know what I stand for. I stand for civil liberty. I stand for the truth, and I stand for transparency. Those will be my own contribution to my country will be what I'm doing now. So, to cut things short, Sisiku have been the biggest political scammer, the biggest political manipulator that take advantage of people and dumb them. When we created the IG in Zaria, Sisiku, all the other leaders who came, he put them out. We were thinking, I pleaded. You have Tasang Anyangwe was there and all these people were there. Tasang Wifer wanted to go away. He was crying in front of me. I knelt down in front of Tasang Wifer. I held his hand. I said, please don't disgrace Ambazonia. The people are dying in ground zero. What would they say if they hear that we come here in the fourth conclave and we are divided? And some people did not attend. He says, Sisiku don't want. I said, we will talk to them. I stopped the conclave from going on the first day. Sisiku sat there. Naloba sat there. They wanted to go on. I said, where is Abacho? Where are all these Bohebe, these people that we saw on TV? Why are they not here? After we resolved that issue, we had the understanding that Sisiku will bring them in some way. He will allow those people to attend because they were already in Nigeria. And Sisiku stood on the floor and said that he has invited his own children. That we have many fathers. He has invited his own children. So the Skakuf constituents, the group that came together and formed Skakuf, none of them were invited. He decided to replace them with a country head and created his own power base. Nevertheless, we created what you see today as the IG. We created the post we create for Sisiku was the interim president. We made it clear in writing. Interim president, not the president. In effect, in ground zero, that when we go to ground zero, we take Boya, you will be the interim president. What we have now is a shadow of an organization. That is a law. Nobody can dispute it. They have gone and changed it, start to call himself president and all those things. Nobody made Sisiku the president of Ambazonia. Quote me anywhere. I am an authority. I created the IG. I am part of those who created the IG. I deliberated in it. I'm telling you the fact. Nobody created Sisiku the president. He made himself the president. Despite all the warnings we had. So let me tell you what is happening now, ladies and gentlemen. Sisiku created the president. He made himself the president because he could not do it on the floor, even with the people that he chose. He made himself the president because he was misled due to his political makeup of always following people who will give him money. Ata Milan, Nalova B, and all these people who surrounded him, they mislead him. They lied to him. They lie. I said that they lied to him because I don't want to say that he's a liar. Because Sisiku, his rationale of making the IG, he never put it in the conclave, but he said it behind. In the conclave, we never even discussed about how are we going to liberate Ambazonia. We never for 1 minute talk about how are we going to free this country. It was not about freeing this country. It was all about making Sisiku the head, Alpha and Omega. That was it. Creating a government. That was all we were doing there. So he was misled. These are the two reasons why Sisiku said he is making a government. That there are 6 countries that are waiting to acknowledge us and recognize us as a country if he make a government. These are all lies, because he has been kidnapped and there have been no country that have come up to recognize us as a country or even let alone stand up for him. The second is that you need a government to have independence. This is a lie that have been poked out by people who want to push us to fall into a trap. So this Sisiku was misled. When he realized that the people who misled him had another agenda to destroy the struggle, and he was resisting. Because he's a patriot, really, he's a patriot, just that he have these weaknesses. And he was insisting on collaborating with Ayabacho, who was insisting on bringing self-defense. They set him up to be kidnapped. Those same people set him up to be kidnapped. We now know that Chris Anu and those people wanted him dead are the people behind what was happening, because Chris Anu set up the Benji and the other people who were in Taraba State to be kidnapped and sent to La Republique. So what happened that you watching me in Ground Zero, you have to know, is that this mafia that was made against Sisiku was because of this his weakness. It was because of this his weakness. When he was in prison, he realized that these people have misled him. They came back to me. They pleaded with me to come and help them and Lucas Asu. We came in and legitimized the ACN, because according to the law of the IG, you can only create laws or create a regime through a constituent assembly. So the call for the constituent assembly, it was voted in the cabinet. Sako was there. They voted for the subsequent or the assembly that took place in America that dismissed Sisiku. I was called, Lucas Asu was called to help him. We helped him because Mark Barata and Eric Tato and all those other activists could not help him. They were trying to bring him down. We legitimized the the conference. They sacked Sako. The proof that Sako was a scammer was brought to the floor, and Harmony Bogba read the resolutions of that conclave. I would like to play it, but that is a history for another story. So after using us, they appointed me an ambassador, and I took that position with the understanding that they have realized that the IG was a mistake. They were misled and they are about to change. They committed to change to the Ambazonian people in front of the activists. They came, the Milton Taka came and gave a speech and said that yes, they are going to change. That's why they call it the Transitional Restoration Council. Dr. Kaz Nyanwe came over the Ambazonian platform. He was interviewed with the panel that included me, Lucas Asu, and Abu Free. He said that it was a mistake. Honorable Weber, everybody said that the IG is a mistake. And then we shielded Sisiku from annihilation from these people that we know were working for La Republique, Sako and Chris Anu. We shielded him. He survived politically because of us. I went to each activist and lobbied that Sisiku should not be attacked because he's in jail. Ayabacho sees him very important statesperson to help our liberation movement. Today, the same people are now calling for Ambazonians to make report against Capo Daniel and Lucas Asu, Ayabacho and Benedictwa to be reported in our country. Something Paul Biya cannot do. So why is he doing these things? We have not done him anything wrong. We have done him only good. Because that is who he is. If you can do like this for us, for your political survivor, Sisiku, do you think we can trust you? Ayabacho have negotiated alone. He can do that. He has chosen not to, because he knows that this thing is not about him. He have insisted and said every single day, we will negotiate as a people. Why, Sisiku? Why are you trying to be used as a fix by those who want to target Pobia and Ambazonia, thinking that they are going to put you somewhere or buy a way out of prison? Is that what you want to do? So ladies and gentlemen, because of time, it's almost 3 a.m. I'm going to cut this thing short. I'll come back to this topic, and I'll come back with the audio of General Big Number about this issue. But for the moment, I want to turn my attention to the splinter group, the people that hijacked the IG group, and to play some of their excerpt because they too have come out swinging. There is this guy, when you hear that people adore, the people adore, there's this guy who is called JK or wherever he is. He comes out trying to blackmail me. Let me play the video and then I'll talk about this issue and then we round up. Because there are many of them anyway. Let me bring you this issue, we'll round up and then tomorrow I'll get back to this issue with what is actually going on.
Country in Africa back in 1957 to ever conduct a democratic election. We did not have a dictator. Our ancestors led Africa with the principle of democracy. That's why when Ndeli lost the plebiscite, he did not neglect Foncha. He went along with Foncha and even worked under Foncha because we in Southern Cameroons, we know what's democracy. And that's why this restoration movement is gaining weight because it's under the principles of democracy, equality, and equity.
So, I give this more relevance. This guy, I've ignored him for a very long time, but he insulted me in this video, and I decided just to address it. If he actually believed in democracy, like the way he talks about, he even mentioned God. The same person, when he come for social media, they talk me and kill civilians. I mean, target innocent civilians. On social media, saying that the video will be deleted. The same person who asked for the killing of Efang, killing of Ivor. This same guy talking about democracy. Listen, young man. The constitution of the IG was written by me. I'm one of the delegates who wrote the constitution. In the constitution of the IG, it makes Sisiku Ayok-Tabi the interim president. I will not say president because they are calling it president. It didn't make him the president. Interim president of the IG group to be effective when we get into Boya, to be the interim president of Ambazonia. That constitution gave the mandate to Sisiku and Sisiku alone. It can be changed only by a constituent assembly, and no conclave had held to take back that power. Even Sako acknowledged that he is just there on the interim base. They were calling him acting interim president, AIP. Remember, young man, remember? In this your small head, remember? They call Sako AIP, acting interim president. Sako himself said that he is only there acting on behalf of Sisiku until Sisiku will be accounted for or is alive. Today Sisiku is accounted for, he's alive. He has fired Sako. The conference in the Constituent Conference that held indicted Sako of criminal negligence, corruption and abuse of power and have fired him. So if you respect the laws and democracy and all those things you are saying about, ask Sako to go away and Cristiano because they have fired them. It's simple. May I talk about the real thing about this guy? We talk here.
We are standing today to say no to the barbaric government of La République. Those are the fundamental things why we are fighting for our restoration. Because there is all the equity, the democracy, all has been.
This guy is so dull. I wonder why we feed our people with this garbage. You are talking about restoration. I don't know what a strong head. The return, I say restoration. You want to restore what? Restoration means going back to what you have. What we have was never our sovereignty. We have never had a sovereignty. We have been autonomous. We have been self-governed. We have never had independence in terms of our sovereignty. The sovereignty was handed to the act of sovereignty was handed in the Tiko airport to Amadou Ahidjo. So you want to go back to Federal Cameroon or to La Republic or go back to Nigeria or go back to trusteeship. Where do you want to restore us? Restore means you want to take us to the back. We are fighting for independence, not for actualization of our independence, a liberation because we are already an independent country technically. It's like you if they say that they have issued you your birth certificate, what can I say, your marriage certificate. You can only say you are married. You can only say you are married, but until you get that act in your hand, you cannot really even take it to court or to divorce. You need to be issued a certificate. So let me forget about those small things and listen to what he says.
Destroyed. Every day on my Facebook, I block. Yeah, and I'll be very happy. Say, Kemi, Ashu too, don't start. I'll be no say they go.
So these guys who created, they spend their time creating what they call the Blue and White Army, to spend their time fighting Capo, Daniel, Ayabacho, blackmailing Sisiku. They have failed, and now they are the ones blocking people and blocking Ambazonians. They are abandoning them by the day. They are the ones blocking. The lady he calling Kemi Ashu is an anonymous person. Forget about that. Listen to the stupid guy.
For Facebook, because at the time where Sisiku be the president, he do interim president, he do his own job for Ambazonia. He make people the world for now. Southern Cameroonian Capo Daniel call United Nations time we were president Wango visit.
So this guy, he's still thinking that people then door. This guy thinks that me, Capo Daniel, I called the United Nations when Sako was invited to the United Nations to go and visit the United Nations. Just to remind Ambazonians who are watching me on the ground, let me play the video of the lies and manipulation that I exposed that these people are still angry to today. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen, and see for yourself.
At this juncture, I would love to make this announcement. Our nation, the Southern Cameroons, has been officially invited by the 4th Committee of the United Nations.
So Sako, after he done chop money for my trip to Boya, did zero diplomacy. He came out and addressed our people and lied that the United Nations, he did not even say he is going to the United Nations to go and visit through AO. He said that the United Nations have invited Southern Cameroon, not even him or his group, Southern Cameroon as a nation, to go before the decolonization committee and present our case. It turned out that it was all a lie. So this is what that guy J. Carl is mentioning. Here again, what happened.
The Southern Cameroons has been officially invited by the 4th Committee of the United Nations concerned with decolonization.
So this was a complete lie. When he announced like this, everybody was happy and excited, including Ayapo was started to writing documents about preparing himself. People were all excited, having call here and there. So what happened was, an insider who knew what was happening in the United Nations tipped me off. They called me and told me that, Capo, what that man is saying is a lie. You people should not be excited for nothing. They have made an application to come here. Their name is in a list of people who have submitted application to come and talk about Zawari Nation, one small Arab country like that in Northern Africa. These people have not been invited. As a matter of fact, they tell me that the United Nations Committee for Decolonization do not invite people. People come there, or NGO come there by your own application, and you submit what you are going to say before you are admitted there. So I contacted one of Sako's closest person who was an informant, and they told me that what Sako planned to do was to go there with Ayim, take pictures talking in the United Nations, and then come outside and deceive the Ambazonian people that they are doing diplomacy. It was a big lie. It was a prank. So to hide my sources, I told Ambazonian people that I had called the hotline of the United Nations to tell them that, to ask to inquire, and they told me that it was a lie. I was just saying that to cover my informant, not to give tips about how I knew it was a lie. Of course, there is nothing like a hotline to the United Nations, so anybody who have brain will understand that I was just covering up my informant. It was a good thing to actually inquire. I wish there was a hotline. I could have called and inquire. So these people wanted to prank Ambazonia. And some of their door people like that J. Carl actually believe what Sako was saying, despite the proof. Listen to the speaker, the person, the moderator of the United Nations Decolonization Committee. Let him tell you what actually happened.
Our nation, the Southern concerned with decolonization.
So listen.
Of Mr. Samuel Akom Sako, representing Africa Solidarity.
So Sako actually wrote an application to this committee saying that he is representing this organization. Listen very well.
Samuel Akom Sako, representing Africa Solidarity.
So Sako write a poem, a short poem, and he was supposed to be given about, I think, 2 minutes or 3 minutes to recite a poem. That is the name of the poem. And then his close associate, who is a lawyer, Ayim, also wrote an application to write something about Zahari nation or something like that. And the Cameroon government objected to their participation. So this is the moderator announcing that the Cameroon have objected to the application of these two people to represent, reading what they were supposed to represent there. Without any other objection from any member, that is why they did not go there. It has nothing to do with Capo Daniel.
For Sarawi and Mr. Martin Ayem, representing Living Stories and Memories. These two requests will be taken up by the committee later this week, following informal consultation in this regard. I hear no objection. It is so decided.
So they were denied because they had objection, and secondly, they could not go there and do the prank because I had explained to the Ambazonian people that it was all a prank. But somehow, this guy, JK, believed that it was Capo Daniel who called. Something that was not even possible, by the way, before Sako was refused not to go there and stage this prank. If Sako was actually having a meeting with the UN that he could say something, we could believe him. But as a matter of fact, the rules of this committee prohibit people from speaking out of their submitted speech. But you know, people them overdoor. I can only compare this JK to this video. Watch this video. There are people who can kill their own family members because pastor says things to them. That is how stupid and foolish this guy is. And you will not believe me that there are people who are so dull like this JK. You know, he says he was making a video on Facebook saying that it is a secret, asking people to go and kill civilians on Facebook. Then saying that he's going to delete that post so that people cannot see. How can you be so stupid to do such a thing like that? So people are really stupid in this world. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to watch this video. It's very graphic, but it is going to help you to understand the type of people that we are dealing with. This is a boy, a young boy. The pastor have said that the grandmother is a witch. That is why he cannot succeed in life. The boy went back to the village. Get the mother, the big grandmother, well beaten. It's very, very bad to watch. But look at her, look at him. There is another case of boys, young grandchildren, burning down their grandmother because a pastor told them that their grandmother is a witch. That is why they cannot succeed in life. Look at this one. No, not this video. Not this video. There is another one. Let me play this video. I want you to know that people are really stupid. There are many stupid people out there. Look at this one. This is in Nigeria. So these are the type of people that
I came to see Mama, and Mama said she said now her leg is paining her, she can't do anything. Her children said she has witch. Today she has not eaten. Her leg, she saw under her leg. She said her children said she has.
So when you see this woman, there's another video, I will not show it, of grandchildren burning down their grandmother alive. I mean, they burn their mother alive because a pastor told them that their grandmother is a witch and they cannot succeed in life until they kill their grandmother. A woman who carried you, your mother, for 9 months in her stomach, deliver you, deliver your mom come and deliver you, you will believe somehow that that same woman is a witch that can kill you, and the person who is telling you to go and kill your grandmother is a pastor. So people are really stupid. There are very dull people. When you see people like J.K. who believe people like Sako, that Sako was actually supposed to go to the United Nations, it shows you that this is really true. It is happening. There are really dull people. And our people are consuming this stupidity from these people. So I show you to this is the only address I can give to that J.K. He's like this type of people who can do this to their grandmother. Me, Capo, Daniel, that have fought for this Ambazonia. ADF, General Ivo, if they could ask people to kill General Ivo, if they could ask people to kill Ayabacho, if they could pray that Sisiku, that they have hijacked his organization, should die in jail. If people could go to that extent to wish us harm, the liberator, to try to silence us, the liberator, then don't be surprised of this type of thing. These are the type of people. Ladies and gentlemen, there are really stupid people. There are really dull people. Those are the people that La Republic wants to put in front. You have seen it in Atanganjipo. Now you are seeing it with the people of Sako. All those people who believe in Sako. People already believe in that guy. Can you imagine? There are people like this who can burn their grandmother. So why would there not be people who can believe this this con man with all the evidence? All the evidence, he eats money, all those things, people still believe in him. For goodness sake. But the good thing is that Ambazonia have wised up. They have learned to know that we have people who are credible. We have leaders who are selfless, who are choosing reconciliation, who are choosing unity, collaboration over everything else. And there are these crazies who will not reason because they are not capable of reasoning. And they will do everything to undermine the revolution. Sisiku himself, we know that Sisiku cannot do anything. No matter what he's trying to do from prison, he really cannot run the liberation from prison. People outside needs to do that for him. If he chooses the way he has done, I'm going to come back to finish his file next time. So stay tuned. It's already 3 a.m. in Hong Kong time and evening in Ambazonia time. Ladies and gentlemen, support our troops. Focus. Never rely on negotiation alone. Negotiation is not our goal. It is just an objective to attain a goal. Those who make the negotiation as an objective, it is because they are politically weak and they are corruptible individuals, either corrupted by money, greed, and ego. As we are seeing, judge them by their track record. We are going to give you the information you need to make that right decision. God bless you. Ciao.